Event search. Tutorial 31. Which event do I want for my clinical question? For additional insight in the use of cohorts in evaluating accountable healthcare, please read Riddles in Accountable Healthcare by Eran Bellin. Often we find ourselves in Looking Glass and we're trying to figure out which of the many events is the event we actually want to use. We can easily go to the manuals and go to the Event Definition Manual. The Event Definition Manual has a table of contents, and in that table of contents you can quickly get an understanding of what are the different events, what are their attributes, some interesting features of those events. So I would suggest that you all take a look at the table of contents and try reading through a few of those chapters, and you'll find them to be very interesting. However, sometimes you want a quick guide. So you can go to the Help and then search Events and Attributes. And now you can type in the word that you're looking for. So suppose you're looking for depression. You know that you have a depression score somewhere in the Montefiore system. You type in depression, hit return. You notice you have 122 returns. Now look at the sort of returns you have. You have the event itself, called death, and now underneath it you have an attribute, which is cause of death, and underneath that you have some of the actual values that were in that attribute. So this looks like a text field, and in fact it is. It's a text field of the death certificate, and that's why you have something like this with the word depression in it. I want to shrink it so I'm not going to look at it. The next thing I look at is I see findings. Now I see something called findings text, and there's a whole bunch of text with the words depression in it. Now that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking like some sort of event, and here it is. The finding event has a finding type that's called depression, PHQ2 and PHQ9. Let's take a quick look at this. PHQ2. And what this should show you is it shows you the counts going back in time. The number of entries for PHQ2 that are in our system for the different time periods. You have a little slider bar here that lets you change the interval of time. Let's choose another topic. So now we have findings and we've found what we're looking for. You also notice problem list has an attribute called description. So you have the event type problem list, close date, and you have the description, and here are some of the descriptions that have the word depression in it. Very, very helpful. Here's a problem with create date with a description on it as well. So basically we have 1, 2, 3, 4 event types: death, findings, problem list, close date, problem list, create date, each of which have something to do with depression. Let's look up another interesting topic. Let's look up blood pressure. Where am I going to find blood pressure? Hit go. I see there are 43 matching terms. We notice there's an event called death, which has blood pressure as a cause of death. We notice findings. Once again, we have findings text, but that's not particularly helpful to us. But here's findings type. And we notice that a findings with a findings type equal diastolic blood pressure is a blood pressure. And these are the counts of blood pressures in this time period. You can see there are a lot of them being done. You hover over them. See December 2011, there are 253,355 blood pressures in the system. January 2013, there are 360,090. And let's look at one other example, Apache. we know there's the Apache score, and once again, it's in the event called findings, finding type equal to Apache, and now you can actually find the Apache scores in Looking Glass. So just to remind you all, this is a quick way to find out what events are available to you in Looking Glass, as well as the help user manual with event definitions.